All right, this is new. My name is Patrick. I am, I guess I'll just say what I say at the beginning of all my YouTube videos. I am a husband, a dad, a human, and a creator living in New York City. And on this channel, we talk about all of it. And I happen to be a worship pastor at a church in New York City. I've been here 17 years. I've been in New York. And I've lived in Upper East Side, Upper West, Washington Heights, where the famed In the Heights is featured. Long Island City, Queens, Stuytown, which is like Lower East Side. And now I'm in Long Island City, Queens. I've been at a bunch of different churches in New York, and been at the one that I'm currently at for about 8 or 9 years, I think. All kind of in the same family. We are a non-denominational or an independent church, and called Wellspring Church, NYC. And every single Sunday, like many of you, I'm sure anybody who's going to click on this video and watch it is probably someone who is planning worship sets for church. So the way this normally goes for me, which by the way, say hi if you want, if you're watching. I'd love to meet any of you, or if at any point you have a question about what I'm doing, feel free to ask. That's why we're here. Also, if you can't hear me too well, please tell me. I'd love to fix any issues that come along. But the way things normally go for me throughout the week is my boss, my pastor, whoever's teaching on Sunday, who's basically sharing a thought from the Bible, teaching into something. I simply contact them. I don't wait for them to reach out to me, but I will ask them 2 questions. I will say, what's your direction this Sunday? Meaning, like, where are we headed? What's the main point? What are our thoughts, our goals? And then the second question is there any song in particular, any reading, anything that you would like me to be ready to share that you have on your mind? A lot of times I feel like, pastors and teachers, they reach out, they don't like to, well, maybe they do, but I find that a lot of people I work with are super humble and super kind, and they don't, we're not like a house band that they can just run up and request things from. So I like to open that door for them. Like, hey, is there something you want me to play? Is there something you want me to sing? Is there something you want me to share? Is there something you want me to focus on? So that they don't feel like they're hounding me for that. So I think I texted my boss, if I remember correctly. Let's see. I'm just opening my texts here. Yes. So I texted him. I said, hey, will you please give me an idea of where this Sunday is headed? Now, if this is someone I was working with for the first time, obviously I would be a little bit more detailed in that question. I would say, is there anything you'd like for me to do, say, sing, whatever? But I just said, we do this every week. So I was like, hey, man, is there something you want me to focus on? And he said, yes, I am kind of comparing the rich young ruler and Zacchaeus, 2 wealthy men that sought to give and found Jesus differently. One was broken, the other was doing all right things, but in the end, the broken one is the one that actually becomes a disciple of Jesus. Likely story, right? And he said, I'm going to talk about surrender and generosity and what it likes to live in a different narrative than most of the world. How is that hard, but how is that also freeing? And why was Zacchaeus ultimately discovered? So I'm looking for songs about short people, which I am a short person. There should be more songs about short people. Am I right? So here's what I do. So I hear some themes going on there. I hear generosity. I hear all sorts of stuff. So I'm going to go ahead and show you guys my screen real quick, which I'm currently looking at the playback app, which we're going to use a little bit later. I'm going to pop open a window here, and I'm going to go to services, planning center. I'm actually, I have multiple Google accounts. So this one isn't normally the one I use for services, so I kind of have to like Google it and log in and all that kind of stuff. Don't look at my passwords. Don't look at my passwords. Okay. Log into my organization. Oh my gosh, here I am. We're going to go to services. Whee! All right, so let's hop over here to plans and let's go to, oh, the one that I need is not here right away. I'm going to go to not weekly worship and prayer. Oh my gosh, I should have had this pulled up, shouldn't I? October 30th. Whee! Here and Now I Give. Okay, cool. So here's a couple of songs I was thinking of when my boss was thinking, it was telling me like, I would like to focus on generosity. I would like to focus on these things. And, to be honest with you, I have a lot of freedom when it comes to planning a set list. I don't have a ton of things like that people are. There's not. I have a pretty long leash, and there's not a lot of I don't have to submit my set lists for approval. I take this part of my role. I do take it seriously, but I don't overthink it. If there's a song that I just think is really great, and we're talking about generosity, but this song is about not us ministering to anyone else or serving anyone else, but this song is about us being ministered to. But it's just a really great song. Hey, I might play it. It's fine. So there's no real hard and fast rules when planning a set list here, but I do have a few things I just like to think through, a few things I like to focus on. For instance, one thing I tell my worship leaders very often is when we're planning a set list, when we're worshiping together, we want to have a holistic view of the story that we as Christians and believers find ourselves in. Creation, God created us. He loves us. He wants community with us. Then there's the fall. Yeah, we are broken. We're in need of a Savior. There are things in our life that we need to be held accountable for, fix, etc. So creation, fall, redemption. We are now saved. Jesus has come. He's died on the cross for our sins. What a crazy story. Yes, we're saved. We're free. And then renewal. So creation, fall, redemption, renewal. The whole story of the gospel. Renewal being, so now that we now that we are Christians, we are meant to love and serve the world. We are meant to see things around us renewed, not because we are powerful, but because Jesus is powerful through us. So when I'm planning a set list, I like to think through those things. I also like to think through praise along with worship. So we want to praise God. We want to celebrate. We want to talk about how we as the church are in community, serving together under this authority of Jesus. And then we also want to focus on worship, which is adoration before Jesus. Jesus, change me. You are everything, et cetera, et cetera. So we sing vertically, to God. We sing horizontally to encourage each other, not to, worship one another, but together worship to be the church. So those are just a few things I think of when planning a set list, along with many other things that I'll probably get to. So when thinking about freedom, when thinking about generosity, when thinking about giving our all, here are some of the songs that I came up with. Let's talk about our ending worship set list here. Have it all. You can have it all, Lord, every part of my world. Take this life and breathe on this heart that is now yours. Right? Is that the chorus? There is no greater call than giving you my all. I lay it all down. I lay it all down. Easy. That pretty much is the story of what we're sharing here, that the text my boss sent me. They also have nothing else. I just want you, nothing else, nothing else, nothing else will do. I just want you. And we're sitting here thinking, well, don't we want other things? Don't we want food and water? Absolutely. But what we are choosing to focus on is how true sustenance, true freedom, true everything comes from Jesus. So I thought nothing else was a good choice as well. I also really like the song Here Again. I'm not enough unless you come. Won't you meet me here again? Because all I want is all you are. Won't you meet me here again? Now, this last set list, one thing I need to do here is you see a couple of keys there. I think C, A, and B. Those keys may work perfectly, but I just threw the songs in. I didn't focus on keys yet. And one thing I like to do, if possible, is both sets. So opening praise, opening worship, closing praise, closing worship. I like to keep everything in the same key, and I really do like to dance between songs. And what that may look like is I get up there, and yes, I have click tracks and cues and multi-tracks with my team, but I like to be able just to start by just saying, I'm not enough unless you come, won't you meet me here again? Because you can have it all, Lord. Ooh, I started really high. Not enough unless you come, till you meet me here again. You can have it all, Lord. Take this life and lean on. Nothing else will do. So do you see how they're all in the same key? And I'm moving through those songs flawlessly because they're in the same key. I really like being able to do that. So I'm going to go back and find a key where every single one of those tunes works. I get asked by worship leaders and musicians a lot, like, is there a key that works for everybody in the church to sing in? No. No. I have sung songs in a really high register. People come to me, oh, the songs are too high. I've sung things in a little bit more of a moderate middle register. Someone always comes up, man, these songs are too low. You cannot win. And yes, eventually, at some point, depending on who the worship leader is, certain people will feel left out or like they can't follow along. And that's just something we kind of have to deal with, unfortunately. So here's what I say. Without going too crazy, sing songs in keys that you are comfortable with. End of story. End of story. You may disagree with me on that. That's totally fine. I think that's fine. I see that there's 3 people watching. Feel free to say hi. If anybody wants to say, hi, I'm from this church, or I'm from, maybe these are all just my friends, just like hanging out with me, that's fine as well. I see there's 3 of you here. If you want to say hi, that would be super, super awesome. So let's start here with these 3 songs. Here again, Have It All, Nothing Else. What songs, what keys will these songs work with? This is so simple. There's no trick to this. You know what I do? I don't have my guitar with me, so I just go to virtual piano. I love this, and hopefully this comes through. I'll make sure to... You guys should be hearing that. If you're not hearing that, let me know. Wow, a lot of sustain there. Okay, let me try. What about the key of D? Oh, can I actually type? Oh, I can. You can have it all. You can have it all, Lord. I'm not enough. Nothing else will do. Let's try C. I'm not enough unless you come. You can have it all, Lord. And then nothing else. So nothing else, and here again seem to be in this, those keys pair up really well, like in a C or a D. But circle of fifths, G or A, so let's move there. You can have it all, Lord. So there's 2 options here. I have songs in like C or D or G or A. Have it all, G or A, C or D here again works. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to my plan here and see who is singing with me. So let me go down to the worship team, and I have Marissa. Oh my gosh, Marissa! Marissa is a phenomenal vocalist. What I'm going to do is decide, maybe I want to sing Here Again and Nothing Else, but Have It All, I'm going to have her sing higher register. She'll be more comfortable with it. So I saw a comment go through here, so let me just say, hey. Oh, from Australia. Ryan, my first real boss in ministry, hi Ryan, was a guy named John Tyson, and he's from Adelaide, Australia. And my favorite Australia story with him is he's from Australia, but he loves Outback Steakhouse. I don't get it either. Why? We go to an Outback Steakhouse, Australia Steakhouse, no rules, just right, shrimp on the Barbie, the whole thing. He's a fully Australian man, now a citizen of America. We're sitting there in Australia, we're sitting there in Outback. The server comes up to us and begins to speak in an Australian accent. He was being funny, he was being kitschy, he was being tongue-in-cheek. He was thinking, I'm going to go above and beyond as the Australian Outback Steakhouse server and make this I'm going to wow this table with my accent, not knowing that my Australian boss was sitting right beside me. So we begin to go around and he's like, what can I get you to drink? Like really that bad. And I'm like, oh boy, water, go around. And it gets to my actually Australian boss, and he says, I'll have a Diet Coke. By the way, flawless accent. Are you with me, Ryan? Flawless. He says, I'll have a Diet Coke. And the server turns like ghost white and looks at him and goes, oh, okay. Back to his American accent. We never saw him for the rest of the meal. So good. Anyway, welcome, Ryan. So glad you're here. Okay, so let's see. Let's work this out. Let me go back to my screen here. Anybody feel free to say hi. Feel free to say where you're from. So Setlist at the end here. Here again, have it all, nothing else. So I'm going to go with the key of C. So that would sound like this. I'm not enough, can't go back to the beginning. Oh, that was bad. Can't control what tomorrow may bring. I'm actually doing piano hands right now as I sing this. I don't play piano. I guess it's because I have the piano screen in front of me. But I know here in the middle, not for a minute was I forsaken. A little high. I have a higher register that works for me. Here again, right from, will you meet me here again? So I'm going to keep that one in C here. And I'm going to move nothing else up. And I'm going to put nothing else in C as well. All right. So, will you meet me here again? Nothing else, nothing else, nothing else will do. I just want you. I'm caught up in your presence. Okay, you guys didn't come here just to hear me sing. Okay, and then we're going to end that and we're going to go to G. So C to G, really easy transition. And I can still sing, or actually maybe I keep this in C. Yes, I'm gonna keep it in C, which I don't like that I have to go all the way to the song to add a key. I wish this was a little bit easier. I'm gonna keep this in C, save, and now let's go back to the plan. Okay, click on Have It All, change the key to C, boom! Now, if I'm moving too quick and you don't use Planning Center, that's okay. We can talk about Planning Center another time. Great resource for planning a set list. So, nothing else, I'm still thinking about this last set. Nothing else will do. Marissa, female vocalist. You can have it all, Lord. So now I have 3 songs, same key. They're all within the topic of kind of where we're headed. They're all great songs. They flow together, very thematic here. And let's talk about, I know we haven't gone to the first set list here, but let's talk about some of those things that I was sharing earlier. Like when I'm planning a set list, I want to think about the holistic story of the gospel. Creation, redemption, creation, fall, redemption, renewal. So creation. Can't go back to the beginning. I'm not for a minute was I forsaken. God's always been with us. He created us. Okay, so fall. Can't control what tomorrow maybe. I'm not enough unless you come meet me here again. You know, we need him. We're dead in our sins, dead in our transgressions, whatever. Redemption. Not for a minute was I forsaken. The Lord is in this place. Renewal. There is no greater call than giving you my all. I lay it all down. God is renewing all things. We're laying things down before him, asking for him to change things. You see what I'm saying? So each one of these songs has sections of it that fit into one of those categories. And I think it's really good as we're planning a set list to have a holistic view of the gospel. Iced coffee break. Hopefully my swallowing noises didn't come through on the mic. If they did, I apologize. Ryan! I'm so glad you heard my story. Ryan is still laughing, the Australian. Yeah, feel free, as I'm going through this, feel free to ask questions or even contribute or disagree with me. Let's have a full-blown argument right here on YouTube Live about Sunday set lists. Okay, so I feel like our second set is good. Let's go to the top. Again, we're talking about generosity, giving it all to God, how it's hard to be generous, it's hard to be giving, but there is freedom in that. So I was just trying to think of some songs. I like to add new songs I want to sing in the top of the set list because or the top of the day, because the second set list I really want to be more, I don't want anybody to be learning anything during that time. I want them to be fully engaging. So here's some songs we've already sung at our church. Back to Life. No longer I who lives, but Christ in me, because I've been born again, my heart is free, the hope of heaven before me, the grave behind, hallelujah, you brought me back to life. I think that really focuses on where we are headed, today, or this Sunday. And then Kingdom Come, Lift Up Your Heads. Now, this is a song I am not super familiar with. I know everybody's been playing it. Let me just hit like, a quick chorus of it. Let me go to YouTube and let me go Kingdom Come. Nope, lift up your heads, yeah. Here we go. Here's an ad, everybody. Gonna go ahead and mute that. All right, let's get into it. So this song is a super long build. God, let your kingdom come, let your will be done. God, let your kingdom come. Oh, okay. Let me hop back here for a second. I want to end the set list with this. It's a song we haven't played before. I'm sorry, it's a song I haven't led before. One of our other worship leaders has led it, I believe, maybe once or twice. And I want this to be something we sing a little bit more regularly. So let me find a good key for this song. God, let your kingdom come, let your will be done. So that's in G sharp, God, let your king. Let me move it to A. God, let your kingdom, that kind of like brings it up in the register. I really like that. God, let your kingdom come. Let your will be done. God, let your kingdom come. Now, I like doing it in an A. I'm going to keep it in A because, I want to do Back to Life. God, let your kingdom come. No longer I who live. Same key. I love keeping set lists in the same key. So, Song 1, Song 2, Song 3, all in the same key because that means I can dance between them. God, let your kingdom come, let your will, no longer I who live, but Christ in me. All right, cool. So let's keep that in A, and let's move this to R. Oh, I can add a key right here? I was wrong earlier. You don't have to leave to add a key. Sick. Save. So Back to Life, Kingdom Come, both of those songs are here and ready to be sung. I need like a big opener that's also in A. Does anyone have any suggestions? Gabe? Okay. Gabe says, coffee. Swallowing was so loud. You fool. You meant to type loud. Oh my gosh. I'm just going to leave this here. Gabe, you're the best. Gabe, I have questions for you. Do you like my new lighting setup? I have the RGB light back here, creating some depth of field, right? I have the key light here. For those of you that are gear nerds, I'm using the Sony ZV-E10. I'm using the DJI mic right here. Hopefully the DJI mic is not too loud. Take that, Gabe. And then, so here, this key light, it's like $100. It's like a light made by this company called like Dasny. And then back here is GVM. I think they're good video makers or great video makers. Both cheap companies, not too expensive, which also is the definition of cheap. I don't know why I said that. So cheap couple lights. I like the look though. It's just me. Can I share my screen again, please? Absolutely. The backlight is a little bit too bright. You're right. You're right. Can I fix that now? I'm going to try to fix it while I'm sharing my screen again for Ryan, who asked to share my screen. Okay, so let me go here to this app that allows me to just, boom, reconnected. Okay. No, that's not it. Ooh, what's that? Gabe, how's that? Okay, so that's like 50%. This is like 100%, right? This is like 50. I'm going to go like 60. What do you think? All right, cool. Gabe, tell me what you think. We're going to go back to our set list here. So I've got set 2 in C, once again, keeping our set lists together. This is not a hard and fast rule. It's just a rule I like to implement, or a practice I like to implement. I like to have like 2 or 3 songs within the same key. That way I can dance between them. So when I'm looking at this second set list here, I'm not enough unless you come. Won't you meet me here again? Oh, I'm sorry. I'm not showing my screen. There we go. I'm not enough unless you come. Won't you meet me here again? Nothing else, nothing else, nothing else will do. I just want you. You can have it all or take it. Okay, so all those songs, I can either play them straight through, or what I like to do, as someone who's been leading worship a really long time, it doesn't make me great, it just makes me old. But as someone who's been leading worship a really long time, I really like to listen to the teach, the sermon, the talk, whatever you call it, and imagine that, a worship leader who listens to the sermon. And then as I'm approaching the stage, I'm hitting a button that sends my mic just to the band's in-ears, and I'm saying, you know what, I really want to sing this song. Sometimes that song isn't even on our list. But when I keep everything in the same key, that means I can start anywhere I want and then dance to the next song or two. All right, I've got these 2 songs up here, Back to Life, Kingdom Come. I'm going to pick just one big opener, okay, that I like in the key of A. So let's go up here. Okay, let's go to, I'm going to open this in a new tab. Whoop. Here are all the songs I play. Can I actually organize by key? No. Okay, what are our big songs here? Let's see. What do we do? What do we do ever be in? Father, the orphan, kind. You father the orphan, your kindness makes us whole. Your praise will ever be, you will be praised. We haven't played this in forever. I'm doing it. So, ever be. This song does not line up with where the teach is headed, but it is such a singable song. It's also it's a modern song, but older. So as people are coming in, I don't know if you guys have this same problem, but in our church, it seems like everyone knows. Oh my gosh, I've kept this on the screen so long. Sorry, Gabe. Everyone knows that our service starts at 10:30 and gets there at 10:50. What are you going to do? Now, I will say we live in New York City, so most people are like training or walking and, doing that with your family and stuff like that. Not always easy, but doable. I'm there early enough, come on. But that opener, I want it to be singable. I want it to be welcoming in. So it's not a big praise tune. But I think it's a great start. Great, let's go with that. So I'm going to go back to Sunday morning here and show my screen. Is there a way I can just automatically go to... Oh, I'm going to go to... Guys, sorry. Oh, I can change my... All right, cool. There we go. So now this is what I'm doing. This is what I'm doing. Okay, screen. So let's go back to our service. By the way, the software I'm using to stream is called Ecamm Live. So easy to use, so great, so phenomenal. Okay, so I've got Back to Life here. I'm going to click, and I'm going to, where it says song here, I'm going to click, and I'm going to go down to song, link a song, ever be. You're welcome. And done. So now I have my set list. So I'm walking in Sunday morning, first set list in A, second set list in C. Let's go, let me hit an A here so I know what I'm doing. You father the orphan, your kindness makes, your praise will ever be on my lips. No longer I who live, you brought me back to life. Let your kingdom come, let your will be done. Great. I like that set list. We're coming back for the second set list. So now I'm going to C. Oh, not C. Oh, that was really... Great. So here's C. I'm not enough unless you come. Won't you meet me here again? Nothing else. Nothing else. I'm caught up in your presence. You can have it all. And that's a higher register. I'm going to throw a female At that one, my good friend Marissa is going to sing it, and we're good. So now that our set list is done, I am going to hop over to the app we use for queuing tracks. Now, I like playback, and here is why. For the longest time, I've used Ableton. I love Ableton, and the beautiful thing about Ableton is it does literally anything you want. Here's the problem with Ableton. My friend Jeff once said, Ableton does a wonderful job of making hard things easy and easy things difficult. Sometimes you want to do the simplest thing, and it's so difficult, it seems. I mean, then like the hardest thing ever, like transposing an entire song, just does it in a snap. I am finding that the playback app from multitracks.com, it does 90% of what I do in Ableton. There are one or two things I will still pick up Ableton. Like if I was planning, let's say like a Christmas show at my church, I would use Ableton with different cues for different slides, different that go on the screen and are cued via MIDI, and I would have songs, but like only half the song, and then the other half, like I would be matching up songs. But that's like a special event. Sunday to Sunday, playback does 98% of what I want it to do. Very rarely am I like, playback doesn't do that. So it's also so easy to use. It looks like every other app on the planet. Click, drag, search. It's easy. So being able to teach playback to my worship leaders, because one of my biggest goals is multiplying what I do. I want there to be multiple people leading, people who are like me, who aren't like me, who look like me, who don't look like me, who sound like me, who don't sound like me. I want there to be a diverse group of worship leaders leading in our church. So one of the biggest stopgaps was they didn't know how to use Ableton. But when I open playback up, most of them are like, oh, this makes sense to me. I totally get it. So that's why we stuck with it. All right, got a couple of comments coming in here. So I just want to flip over to the camera and just say, hey, that is the yes, Gabe, that is the most correct description of Ableton I've ever heard. Difficult things easy, easy things are difficult. Absolutely. It's a great app. It's a phenomenal DAW, digital audio workstation. But it's just not, it's hard to reproduce it in someone else. It's hard to multiply it into someone else. Oh, hey, thanks, Dustin. Audio is great. Premiere video is dually great. Thanks for the encouragement, man. It's so good to see you. You know what's great? That beard, bro. You're looking good. Let's see what Brian says. Okay, just starting to switch to playback for those who aren't as familiar with Ableton. If I'm not there, for those who aren't as familiar with it. Just starting to switch to playback for those who aren't as familiar with Ableton. Oh, I got it. Got it. Yes, switching to playback is so much. It's way easier for people to follow along and figure things out. Okay, so let's hop over to playback. I'm going to create a new set list. Create new set list, and I'm just going to call it the date, 2022. This is how I organize everything, video footage, everything. I do things by year dot month dot date. And then a lot of times I'll do like a little space dash space, and then my name or maybe the name of the Sunday or something like that. Create. Not now. Whee! Okay, so here we go. Now, when we're in playback, it just tells us exactly what to do. Add a song. So I'm going to search for what's my first song. Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm not in. My screen, so you don't know what I'm doing. So sorry. Okay, here we are. So when I'm in playback, I just search for what song I want to play. Ever Be. Now, what it does is it searches the entire... Who's here? Oh, Genevieve's here. Sorry, I don't work here alone. So what it does is it searches the entire database of songs on multitracks.com, and I select Ever Be, because that's going to be my opening song. And what key do I want it in? A, that's the one that I picked. Then when you're playing playback, one of the easiest things, one of the things it really helps you with is the fact that it has just right here, it has a pad player. And that pad player kind of just like matches up with other songs. But sometimes songs have their own pads. So I'm gonna just go with the Ever Be pad, and then says, what tracks do you wanna use with this song? Now I can rent this but if I've already purchased it through multitracks.com, it just says add. I'm going to start, I could rent this, which gives me every track available. Yes, I'm going to do that, rent. It says this is added to your list of rentals. You've just lost a rental for the year, whatever, great. Rent selected song. And then it processes, downloads that song, and you can begin to use it. Now, one thing I didn't pay attention to, let me click on Add Song again, and I'm going to go to Everbee, and I'm going to select Everbee. What is the tempo of this song? It is not going to tell me. Ah, there it is, 69 beats per minute. So one thing I like to do actually before and after songs in playback is I like to add just a simple click and pad. So I'm gonna go down to 69 beats per minute. Boom, 4/4 time signature. And I'm just gonna select, I like this OB ambient pad here, and add. Now, the reason why I add a click track and a pad right after this song is because this song is going to have all sorts of guides, verse, chorus, thing. It's going to have all sorts of instruments in the background if I want to use them. The only one I'm probably going to use is like the loopy one, the percussion that's like, like big reverby snare. Let me actually play it for you real quick. Let's start this song.
1, 2, intro, 2, 3, 4.
Of course, it is not coming through. Oh, I know why. Let me actually go to my settings, and let me go to my buses, and I'm going to select all things going to, oh wait, is it coming through? And I just don't hear it because I don't have my other ear in. Ah, there it is. Okay, so let me turn off that pad there. So when the song begins, you'll hear this like big reverby snare.
1, 2, intro, 2, 3, 4.
You hear that? I really like that coming through. And notice when I started the song, the pad came through. So the reason why I rented that song along with all the tracks is because I wanted to have that snare in the background. It's just gonna add a feel to the song that I really, really like. And then when this song ends, the reason why I added this little click track and pad is because I want it to go right into just a click track. A lot of times songs end and we continue to sing like an extra chorus or something like that on Sundays. So I want to be able to have that click track continue to go. So you'll notice also right here that I can change the transition between song to click pad. And what it has here is just when this song ends, it cues the next song that I can then start. And that's gonna look like this. Let me actually start just from the end of this song. So that song ends. And it just selects my click track, but it doesn't start it. What I want to do is I want to actually have it crossfade, or yeah, crossfade into the next one. And then I go back to Everbee, I look at the end, I click here, that's right around 5:18 where it hits that final. So, but it still has like 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 seconds left. So I'm going to click on Everbee. I'm going to click Edit. I'm going to click the 3 little lines, and I'm going to change its end time. So instead of it ending at like 5:23, I'm going to have it end at 5:19. Update. And what that means is that that ending fade out will become shorter, so it will cue the click track sooner, this next click track here. Now I'm also going to click on the click track because even the click tracks have a count in, 1, 2, 3, 4, start. I'm going to remove that section, so there's no 1, 2, 3, 4, it just starts right with a click. So this is what that sounds like. I hit done. Let me go ahead and end Everbee by, let's just play the little outro here. Oh, what happened? Is my click not turned up? What's going on? Huh. What happened to my click sound? Oh no, something's happened. Guys, what did I do? What did I do? Okay. Something has happened here. Okay, song-specific buses, no. Wait, is it playing for you guys but not for me? Well, let me do some tests here. Nope. I don't know what is happening. I am sorry. What if I added a new click track and pad? I'm just going to make it, not make any settings changes or anything. Done. My click tracks and pads are not coming through. Okay, I'm not going to take our time trying to solve that issue. I'm going to solve that issue later. It's going to be fine. But as you can see, thank you, Gabe, off everywhere. But long story short, as I'm singing the praises of playback, of course it fails. As I'm singing the praises of playback, it fails miserably. It happens. Okay, yeah, it looks like all the tracks are off. But that's fine. You guys get the idea. If you're still with me watching this far, you understand what I'm saying. Long story short, I add in each song, and then I actually crossfade into a click track and a pad, because that way the song fades out and I'm able just to continue like playing anything. But then after that click track, let me go ahead and click edit. What's my next song again? Oh, I've forgotten. Back to life. Okay, so back here in playback, I go to back to life, back to life, back to reality. Anybody remember that song? Okay. Now, notice how it does not say rent this song. That's because I actually already purchased this multi-track through multitracks.com. So I'm going to go ahead and click on, remember, we've got to change the key to A. Oh, not A flat, sorry, A. And it has its own pad as well. Great, I'm just going to keep that. Now, no, I'm going to change it to the OB ambient pad, and here's why. Remember over here, I'm going to go ahead and add it, and it's going to process and do that whole thing. Okay, remember how over here on this click track, which, let me actually go ahead and get rid of that guy. Yeah. Remember how over here on this click track, I just made it the OB ambient pad? Well, what happens is when this click track is done playing, if I can ever get it to play, I'm going to actually transition to this song using just my foot pedal, which will be another video. I'll show you how I set up my foot pedal. And I don't want to transition to this new song by having like this is the pad for the click track, and then it's like, wah, you know, like completely different. By the way, that's my pad impression. Oh, it's pretty bad. So I keep the pad that's currently playing to transition into the new song just so it feels really natural. And then I would plan my set list from here. So I would have Everbee into a click track and a pad that's the same tempo and the same key as the previous song. So same thing here. Edit, add a song, just click and pad. Oh shoot, what? Dang it, I keep forgetting to check this. Back to life is what tempo? 72.5. We're gonna change that to 72 because why all the 0.5s, Bethel? Bethel classically does this. They create songs that are in like 73.99 beats per minute. Come on, guys. Relax. All right, so I'm going to create a click and a pad that's also 72 beats per minute in the key of A. And that's what I would do for every song in my set list. Now, again, I'm not going to talk about how I set up my foot controller today to be able to run this, but if I wanted to, I don't have to use a foot controller. The playback app If you pay for the right subscriptions, you can use it on an iPad or a Mac. So some of my worship leaders, they just have the iPad right in front of them and another iPad with their lyrics and chords, and when they just want to start a song, they just touch it right on the iPad, no problem. So add a song, click and pad, and it is going to be 72 beats per minute. So this is what my set list begins to look like. Song, click, track, and pad. I'm about to wrap up here, but one other thing I want to do, and this is huge. This should be more detailed than I'm about to show you, but one thing I do with every song is I click the three little lines. I move down here to MIDI out, lyrics bus, 4-line template. What I'm telling this song to do right now, I'm telling playback to do right now, is create MIDI cues within the song with a 4-line template for slides that are going to be on our screens. I've created a ProPresenter playlist that is the first playlist in our ProPresenter application on our media computer. And this song is the first song in our set list, so it is item 1. So on our presentation computer in church on Sundays, there's a playlist called Worship. It's the first playlist. And this is the first song in our worship set, so it's playlist item number 1. And I want playback to cue 4-line slides on the screen. Update. Now what this does is to Everbee, it adds these little orange triangles. These are MIDI cues. And without getting too detailed here, we can talk about this another time. This will send, as long as both of my computers, both my computer here or my iPad here, whatever I'm using to run playback, as long as that device is on the same network as my media computer in the back of the room that's sending slides to ProPresenter, or sending slides to the screens using ProPresenter, it will wirelessly tell that computer which slides to play. Now, if you guys want me to dig a little bit deeper into that right now, feel free to ask, but I plan on doing that another time. So within playback, I have my ProPresenter slides being queued. Now, I would need to do that for each song. I'm just doing it for one for right now. I have the songs in whatever key I want and whatever tempo I want, including 6.2.375 beats per minute. Thanks, Bethel. And I also just have the ability to add in these click tracks, so there's always a consistent click going and a pad going behind all the songs to kind of fill out the musicians, fill out the band and the sound in the room. I'm going to click done. Let me see, is this working? So this one's working. This one isn't. I'm assuming this has something to do with the way I'm routing all of the audio, and it's going to get fixed later, and I'm not worried about it. That's how I plan a set list for a Sunday, and I'm thankful that you guys came along with me. There was a few of you watching. If you have any questions, as always, you can shoot me an email, patrick@impatrickmurphy.com. And if you ever want to do some of this on your own, if you ever want to learn about running tracks in worship or things like that, or building a set list, you can always, again, contact me on my website, impatrickmurphy.com. Hope this was helpful for you, and I will probably be doing this more. Oh, weird. I'm currently figuring out the problem as I do it. Whatever. Okay, so I'll probably be doing more of these live streams in the future. If you guys have any questions, let me know. Thank you so much for commenting on my lighting, Gabe. Thank you so much for commenting on my video and lighting and audio, Dustin. Ryan from Down Under, you are the man. I hope you have a wonderful day. Be blessed. Have a great, great, great day. Have a great Sunday. And I will see all of you soon. Thanks so much for joining us for this live stream. See you in the next one.